My name is Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille, and this is our chain mail tutorial channel. Hey guys, big hi, hello, welcome, how are you? Thanks for popping in and seeing me today. It is really great to see you. So today I've got another weave tutorial for you. This one is a redo from our original Facebook Live sessions. I believe this is probably about the last one we did on Facebook before we moved over to YouTube. So this one was done back in 16th of September 2017. The name of the weave, is, now let me see if I can get this correct, is Dybbuk Ridge. I did look up the pronunciation of that, but it's flown out of my head as soon as I stopped listening to it. Apparently though, that word means a malicious or possessing spirit, which is an interesting name for a weave. But there you go, that's what it is. So we're doing a redo of that. I just want to make one little comment before I let you launch into the video. I have recently injured one of my hands, and I thought I had kept that injury out of the video, but when I looked back through it, I did see that there are a couple of shots where you do see all the bruising and everything that's on my hand. Never mind, my hand is much better. It's getting great. I didn't do any major damage to it. But I just wanted to let you know that there are a couple of short shots there where you may see the bruising and everything on my hand, and I'm sorry if that upsets anybody, but it's not that bad. But I just wanted to let you know that that would be coming up in the video. But anyway guys, that's enough from me. Let's get you started. Okay guys, so I've got some sample pieces here made up for you of the Dybbuk weave. So coming up here on the side of the screen will be the ring sizes listed that are used to make up these particular samples. They'll also be listed down in the description tab that you will find underneath this video. But to run through them quickly with you, the big chunky one here on the end here is the 14 gauge AWG version, so that's 1.6mm diameter wire, and the ring ID we used for this one was 5/16 of an inch or 7.94mm. The next one along is the 16 gauge AWG version, 1.2mm diameter wire with the ring ID of 1/4 of an inch or 6.35mm. The next one along is our 18 gauge AWG version, 1mm diameter wire, and the ring ID here is 3/16 of an inch or 4.76mm. And finally our 20 gauge AWG version, 0.8mm diameter wire. A ring ID here was 5/32 of an inch or 3.97mm. So personally, I think if you're looking for a piece that weaves up beautifully, the 18 gauge version is the one that you should go for. It is a beautiful piece. It looks fabulous. It holds its shape well, and it weaves really nicely. The 20 gauge version is almost as sweet as the 18 gauge version. So either of those would be my recommendation. If you like a more chunky weave, then obviously the 16 or the 14 gauge versions might be the ones for you. But it is a fairly wide weave already. So if you're not so into that big look, 18-20 gauge guys, that would be my recommendation for you. Okay, so the base weave of Dybbuk Ridge is European 4-in-1. So for anybody who hasn't done European 4-in-1, I will pop a link to a video up here in the corner, but I'll also run through it here for you. So we're going to start by opening up one of our large bright aluminium rings, and on this I'm going to pop 2 pre-closed rings. Now you don't have to pre-close, you can close these as you go along, but if you are new, I would suggest pre-closing several of these of your base color, which in this case is the bright aluminium, several of these in advance, so you can just pop them on and keep weaving. But go ahead and pop 2 of your rings onto an open ring and close that ring up. And then I'm going to take up a twist tie and I'm going to pop it through that single ring This just gives us a little bit of a handle to hold on to as we start and just helps keep the weave easily under control. All right, so to start with, we're going to position our rings so that we've got what I like to refer to as a little mouse head looking at us. So we've got our two ears here and we've got their forehead facing us. So holding the rings in position like that, take up another opened ring and we're going to feed it through the front of the ear on the right, just like this. We're then going to bring it around and bring it up through the back of the ear on the left, so that it feeds through both those rings. And then we're going to take two of our pre-closed rings, pop it onto our open ring, close our ring up, and then reposition so that we've got our little mouse head looking at us again. Okay, so this gives us European 4-in-1. And we just continue to work like that for the length that we require, plus maybe about 2 centimeters, an inch extra. It will scoot up a little bit as you go along, so you will want to make this a little bit longer than you're expecting your final piece to be. So again, holding our rings so that we've got our little mouse head looking at us. Make sure his forehead is facing you. Go down through the front of the ear on the right, up through the back of the ear on the left. Before closing, pop on 2 more rings, close it up, reposition the 2 rings that you just added so that you've again got your little mousey, and you just keep going. So down through the front of the ear on the right, up through the back of the ear on the left, and pop on 2 new ears. Close it up. And you keep doing that for the length that you require, plus that little bit extra. And then once you get to the end, you've got your 2 loose little ears. So once you've reached the length that you want, just take up 1 more open ring and feed it through the ears as you have been doing. This time we don't need to add any pre-closed rings. Okay, we just close that up and our work should look like this. Now I like to pop on another twist tie on this end if you've got an extra one hanging around. As I said, it just helps to keep the weave under control, because you can just quite easily grab the twist ties, give them a little tug, and it all falls into position. Because as you can see, these are not ideal ring sizes for European 4-in-1 as a singular weave, so they are a bit loose, a bit sloppy, and it just helps if you've got these twist ties on either end to keep them a little bit under control. So go ahead guys, pause the video and keep making your European 4-in-1 piece. Remember, if you need a little bit more help on European 4-in-1, there will be links up here in the corner for other videos that I can suggest for you to go along and watch. Once you've got the length that you need, meet me back here and I will show you what to do next. Okay, so once you've got your European 4-in-1 piece made, and as you can see, this is quite lacy, which is why I've popped these 2 handles on it. It really does give it a little bit of help. What we're going to do next is place some extra rings around our ears here. So to do that, you just take up an opened ring. So this is still in the base color, the bright aluminium. And we're just going to go as we were before. You go down through the front, up through the back of our ears, and we close that up. Okay, so there's our extra ring there, and we want to do that all the way down our piece. Now of course you can add these extra rings as you're weaving up your base if you prefer. I find it just as easy to go back and put them in. But it is totally up to you guys. It's your piece. You know how you work better. Do what works best for your workflow. So again, we're just going to go down to the next set of ears. We're going to pop our additional ring into them. and close it up. Okay, give it a little tug so it all comes back into position nicely. Find your next set of ears, which is these two here. Take up a ring, feed it through those two and close it up. Okay, one more here. And then we just need to place one more final ring into our initial set of ears. Okay, give a tug on our twist ties to get everything into place. And you can see all our additional center rings in place there. So once you've placed all of those, we want to go again back to the beginning of the weave, and this time we're going to place our colored rings. Okay, so these are the colored rings here, and as you can see, these rings are Mobiused, so we need to keep that into consideration as we place our rings. So we're going to work down the right side of our piece to start with, and we're going to be putting these rings through these first two side rings here on the right and our most recently placed center ring here. Okay, so we're going to come up through our second ring on the right, up through our newly placed ring, and then we're going to go down through the front of the first of our side rings. Okay, to show you what that looks like, up through the back of our second ring, up through our center ring, down through our first ring, and close that up. Okay, so our work looks like this at this stage. We're going to place a second colour ring through the same path, but remembering, guys, we want to Mobius this ring as well. So we come up through the second ring, up through the middle ring, down through the first ring, and down through the coloured ring at the same time, and close it up. And there we've got our first pair of coloured rings placed. Now we want to do the same on the other side of the weave. I'll just fix that up. I can see that's a bit chunky, a bit not good. There we go. All right, so to place it on the other side of the weave, I'm just going to turn it upside down. It just makes it easier for me to access. I'm going to take up another coloured ring. I'm going to come up through our first ring here on the edge, down through that center ring, down through our second ring, close it up. So your work should look like this. And then I'm going to place a second one. So we come up through the first ring, down through the ring in the center, down through the second ring on the side, down through the coloured ring, close it up. Okay. So your work should look like that with your two Mobiuses placed on either side. Going to go down to our second and a third ring, this time on the side, and our next loose center ring, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take up an opened ring, okay, coming to the second ring in our new pair, which is the next loose ring. Okay, we've got no other rings or none of our coloured rings going through this, so this is our first loose ring on our side. So we're going to go up through it, up through our center ring, down through the previous ring on the side, close it up, taking a second ring, feeding it through the same path. So up, up, down, and this time also going down through the previous ring so that we Mobius it and close. And there is our second Mobiused pair of rings in place, or our first of our second set, I should say. Okay, and so to place the ring second set on the other side, I'm going to turn my work over, turn it upside down, take up another opened ring. This time I'm going to come up through the back of the second side ring, down through the front of the center ring, down through the front of the next loose ring on the side, close that up, take up a second colour ring and come up through the same path. So up through the second ring, down through the center ring, down through the second side ring and down through the previous coloured ring. Close it up. And there's 2 pairs placed. So you just keep doing that for the length of your bracelet. I'll show you once more, just in case. So this time we're going through our third side ring and our fourth side ring, which is the next loose ring going down our weave, and the next center ring. So we come up through the back of our loose ring, up through the back of our center ring, down through our previous side ring. Close it up. Okay, taking up another ring, feeding it through the same path, but this time remembering to Mobius the colour ring. So up through the back of our second side ring, up through the back of our center ring, down through the previous side ring, down through the previous coloured ring, and close it up. Okay. To place on the other side, I turn my work upside down. Because we're upside down, we'll be going at this slightly different. We'll be going up through our first ring, down through our center ring, down through the next side ring, our loose ring, close it up, and our second ring follows the same path. So go up through that first ring there, down through our center ring, down through the second of the side rings, and down through the first coloured ring. Close it up. Okay. And that is it, guys. You just keep repeating those steps all the way down until you have filled up all your side rings and captured all your loose center rings. But that's it. That's how you weave the Dybbuk weave. Alright guys, well that's it. That is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. If you did find it useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Share the video if you like. If you're not a subscriber, if you would consider doing that for us, that would be awesome. While you're here, check out some of the other videos we have for you. There are many, many for you to choose from. And last but not least, guys, don't forget to give our shop link that's up here in the corner a little bit of love and affection. That's where we sell the bits and bobs and whatchamajigs you're going to need to make up this weave and many others. So once again, guys, thanks for popping in and seeing me. It is great to spend some time with you. I really appreciate it. And keep safe, keep well, and I hope to see you again sometime in the very near future. Mwah! Bye.